Unit 2.
Quizzical. He came up to me with a quizzical expression. Harrowing. The boy had a harrowing experience of being kidnapped. Rife. New York was once rife with crime. Cavalier. The doctor has a cavalier attitude to his health. Impasse. He was stuck at an artistic impasse. Malaise. Those symptoms may be accompanied by headache and a feeling of malaise. Haven. We offer these children a haven from troubled home life. Rowdy. They saw the boy's rowdy behavior and called the police. Incision. The surgeon made an incision in the chest. Slouch. Be careful not to slouch during the interview. Anesthetic. The doctor told her the anesthetic would wear off in about 2 hours. Defraud. He was accused of defrauding the company of 10 million yen.
Latitude. The students are allowed some latitude in deciding what they study. Truce. They called a truce in the battle for control of the family business. Contrition. I could see the look of contrition on his face. Flourish. The area flourished as a center of business. Bravado. He began to regret his earlier bravado. Mutter. She left the room muttering something. Innately. She believes that humans are innately good. Circumspect. The company is circumspect about launching a new project in China. Backlash. The new health insurance system caused a public backlash. Requisite. Studying hard in class is requisite for having good grades. Clot. The substance helps blood clot. Rift. The rift between the two sisters has widened recently.
Barrage. The singer faced a barrage of questions from reporters. Endemic. This disease is endemic to the southern part of this country. Deadlock. The negotiations appear to have reached a total deadlock. Posthumous. The journalist was honored with a posthumous award. Archaic. This archaic law should be revised. Inquisitive. Young children are inquisitive by nature. Perception. People have different perceptions of time. Blister. I got a blister from my new boots. Disparity. There are still great regional disparities in infrastructure. Grievance. They are required to handle grievances. Dissect. The students dissected fish in biology class. Undertake. He was willing to undertake the difficult task.
Audacity. He had the audacity to talk to the CEO. Squeamish. This movie may not be suitable for those who are squeamish. Abject. Many people in the region live in abject poverty. Amnesty. The country granted an amnesty to the illegal immigrants. Controversial. Welfare reform was the most controversial political issue then. Impassive. He remained impassive during the hearing. Procure. We can procure materials locally. Reprisal. The terrorists made reprisal attacks against them. Dupe. The man duped the girl into marrying him. Plagiarize. You must not plagiarize others' work. Debris. Volunteers are removing debris from sidewalks. Footage. The police identified the suspect from security camera footage.
Rapport. It is important for teachers to establish a close rapport with their students. Uncouth. She was shocked by his uncouth behavior. Palatable. These tablets are very palatable. Concerted. They all made a concerted effort to improve product quality. Debrief. The pilot was debriefed immediately after his flight. Misgiving. People had misgivings about the future of the country. Brash. The musician is known for his brash attitude. Rubble. A woman has been found alive in the rubble of a collapsed building. Exemplary. He was honored as an exemplary student. Redress. They are seeking redress for unfair dismissal. Repeal. They tried to repeal the old law. Throng. I lost sight of her in the throng.
Bluff. Don't listen to her threats. She's just bluffing. Illegible. His handwriting was totally illegible and I couldn't figure out what was written. Liability. She had become a liability to the party as her pace was slow. Extrovert. She is not such an extrovert as her elder sister. Rant. Every time I meet him, he rants about how terrible his life is. Marginally. The new engine is marginally better than the old one. Frugal. The frugal man finally built his own house. Apprehend. The police apprehended the drug dealer. Outright. The city has banned smoking outright in outdoor public space. Outrage. The local residents were outraged by the closure of the post offices. Swindle. He swindled investors out of millions of dollars. Tacit. They had a tacit agreement not to discuss religion.
Garner. He garnered sufficient support in the election. Broach. I decided to broach the subject of divorce with my husband. Staunch. The scholar is a staunch supporter of nuclear power. Scuttle. That plan was scuttled by technical difficulties. Bogus. He was arrested for carrying a bogus passport. Sequester. The judge ordered the jury sequestered to ensure a fair trial. Pamper. I sometimes pamper myself with a spa. Detonate. The terrorist detonated a car bomb. Jeopardy. Their health is being put in jeopardy. Resonate. The candidate's messages resonated with voters. Wince. He winced from the sharp pain in his back. Jest. The governor explained that the comments were said entirely in jest.
Annotate. The revised edition of that book has been annotated by the author. Insatiable. The appetite of investors seems insatiable. Optimum. We need to make optimum use of natural resources. Forgo. The members decided to forego a pay raise. Rebuff. The council rebuffed the mayor's proposal. Ratification. The senator is strongly opposed to the ratification of the treaty. Widespread. The flood caused widespread damage to the country. Libel. The actor sued the magazine for libel and won the case. Drawback. High running costs are the major drawback of this machine. Cognitive. He is majoring in cognitive psychology at the college. Deluge. The TV station has received a deluge of complaints about the program. Unrelenting. The sun was unrelenting and there was little shade to be found.
Dwindle. The food stock dwindled day by day. Abort. The launch of the rocket had to be aborted because of the strong wind. Calibration. It is important to ensure that the effect of calibration errors is minimized. Sway. The party leader's powerful speech swayed the voters. Thwart. This program is designed to thwart hackers. Validity. A growing number of scientists have begun to question the validity of the experiment. Aloof. She's beautiful, but somewhat aloof. Indiscretion. The driver's indiscretion caused a terrible accident. Connoisseur. He is a connoisseur of Japanese art and collector of ukiyo-e prints. Avert. We must take every measure to avert the danger of nuclear war. Denounce. The UN harshly denounced the country's nuclear test. Conflagration. A famous temple was burned down by the conflagration.
Converge. Thousands of people converged on the port for the luxury cruise ship. Coerce. The military coerced young people into going to the battlefield. Deportation. The children faced deportation to their parents' native country. Expropriate. The government plans to expropriate the land to build an airport. Exquisite. The hotel features an exquisite French wine selection. Bigotry. The writer has frequently been accused of bigotry. Grudge. She held a grudge against her boss. Savor. She savored her victory with the gold medal in her hand. Crackdown. The police have launched a crackdown on crime in the city. Intermittently. It has been raining intermittently since yesterday. Intercept. It seems that someone intercepted our communication. Discerning. They offer quality products to satisfy even the most discerning customer.
Foster. This program aims to foster children's creativity. Flounder. Without proper training, young teachers can flounder in schools. Secrete. Insulin is secreted when the blood sugar level rises. Mount. Her anxiety mounted as the date of the exam approached. Stagnate. The country's economy has been stagnating for the last decade. Camaraderie. In team sports, camaraderie plays an important role. Embargo. The government imposed an arms embargo temporarily. Acclaim. She won critical acclaim for her performance in the film. Appraise. His house was appraised at $200,000, which was higher than he had expected. Culmination. This product is the culmination of years of development. Veer. Two people were injured when their car veered off the road. Encrypt. You need to encrypt the file before you send it.
Interim. As an interim measure, we have decided to take the following approach. Regime. The communist regime in that country collapsed in the late 20th century. Derive. The word bureaucracy derives from a French word. Underscore. This study underscores the need for further research. Hurdle. A cat hurtled down the stairs. Stump. I was stumped when my daughter asked why the sky is blue. Condone. We cannot condone the use of illegal drugs. Encompass. The thief was soon encompassed by the police. Stray. They strayed into a dark forest. Abscond. He absconded with investors' money. Embezzle. She was convicted of embezzling public funds. Traverse. It took them 5 days to traverse the vast desert.
Ordinance. The Council passed a new landscape ordinance. Apathetic. Many young people are apathetic about politics. Prudence. She drove the car with prudence. Typify. The movie star typifies the macho image. Somber. A somber silence filled the room. Scam. Don't use this website. It has to be a scam. Gist. I failed to grasp the gist of the conversation. Mosaic. The country is a mosaic of different cultures and religions. Collateral. We are putting up our house as collateral for a bank loan. Peruse. The CEO perused the document before the meeting. Attire. Applicants are required to wear business attire. Fallacy. It's a common fallacy that women are worse drivers than men.
Dazzle. The soccer player dazzled fans with his outstanding skills. Revise. The GDP growth was revised upward. Flaunt. He has never flaunted his wealth. Retroactively. The new conditions will be applied retroactively from April 1st. Adept. He is adept at handling angry customers. Laudable. While the aim is laudable, there will be many challenges ahead. Sleek. The hotel has a sleek and modern interior. Predator. The bird has no predators on the island. Valiant. Our company made a valiant attempt to increase its share. Tarnish. That scandal tarnished the president's reputation. Abridged. He is reading an abridged version of the classic. Regurgitate. Many birds regurgitate food to their chicks.
Mayhem. It was absolute mayhem with everyone shouting over one another. Novice. I'm still a novice at golf. Straddle. She straddles two worlds, tennis and modeling. Placebo. In that drug trial, 7 participants were selected to take a placebo. Inhale. Be careful not to inhale the fumes when you spray. Caliber. This university attracts students of the highest caliber. Reconnaissance. They made an aerial reconnaissance of the enemy position. Distraught. She was distraught over the death of her pet dog. Dislodge. Some ceiling tiles became dislodged during the storm. Enmity. There is a 100-year history of enmity between the two countries. Retard. A study suggests certain chemicals may retard children's brain development. Genetically. Genetically engineered crops have become controversial in recent years.
Embellish. The politician had embellished his resume. Clandestine. They stopped seeing each other but continued a clandestine correspondence. Infuse. The teacher infused his students with enthusiasm for learning. Ambivalent. She seems to feel ambivalent about his proposal. Allegedly. The man was arrested for allegedly stealing jewelry. Zest. The student had a zest to study abroad. Slam. The opposition slammed the president for his failed economic policies. Wayward. They are concerned about their son's wayward behavior. Pristine. These books are in pristine condition. Brazen. They show a brazen disregard for the law. Idly. He won't stand idly by while others are in danger. Dub. The movement was dubbed by the media Arab Spring.
Meager. He lives on a meager income. Transitory. The investor believes the economic slowdown is transitory. Omit. The candidate's name was omitted from the list. Wrath. She was fearful to face her father's wrath. Dissuade. I tried to dissuade him from quitting the company. Interject. The president interjected some comments during the interview. Haggle. I haggled with the vendor to get this watch. Imprudent. It would be imprudent to ignore the potential problem. Ulterior. He had an ulterior motive when he agreed to the plan. Quandary. She was in a quandary about what to wear to the party. Unscathed. Surprisingly, she escaped unscathed from the accident. Thrifty. After losing her job, she was thrifty.
Hereditary. This disease results from hereditary factors. Stammer. The woman stammered badly during the job interview. Benign. Benign polyps do not need to be removed. Remorse. He showed no remorse for his crimes. Concession. They made some concessions in the conference. Flunk. Half of the students flunked their math test. Bequeath. The artist bequeathed many works of art to the museum. Flagrant. Their act is a flagrant violation of the international law. Infatuate. Many young people were infatuated with the rock band. Wager. I guess it's possible, but I wouldn't wager on it. Turbulent. The castle has witnessed 250 years of turbulent history. Rummage. She rummaged through every drawer for her ring.
Impediment. The major impediment to using these technologies is cost. Glitch. Our project hit an unexpected glitch. Impervious. That company is impervious to outside criticism. Rebut. He rebutted charges that he had received a bribe. Facilitate. This software facilitates detailed analysis of data. Wrangle. He wrangled with his wife about their children. Avid. She is an avid reader of science fiction. Glut. There is a glut of houses on the market at the moment. Labyrinth. The old town is a labyrinth of twisting alleys. Allude. He alluded to his possible retirement. Nullify. The election results were nullified. Incessant. I am disturbed by incessant calls from telemarketers every day.
Consignment. They have received the consignment. Gloat. You should not gloat over others' failures. Prognosis. Her prognosis looks very good. Immaculate. She always keeps her room immaculate. Versatility. His versatility is vital to the team. Permeate. The smell of freshly ground coffee permeated the room. Fiasco. He was fired after the fiasco of the loss of important data. Veto. The president exercised his veto to block the bill. Convergence. His remark promoted a convergence of opinion among the members. Drab. The street was lined with drab buildings. Pique. Teachers should pique the interest of the students. Purge. The police purged the town of crime.
Meddle. She should not meddle in things she knows nothing about. Frisk. I was frisked heavily from head to toe. Detest. She detests her boss for being too conservative. Impromptu. He suddenly stood up and made an impromptu speech. Plenary. The second plenary meeting took place at the end of last month. Gall. He owes me $200 and then has the gall to ask for another $100. Meander. The Amazon River meanders through northern Brazil. Assuage. The mayor has sought to assuage public concerns about the project. Flimsy. The shelves were made of flimsy material. Contrived. That TV drama is popular, but I think the plot seems contrived. Dismantle. I dismantled my bike to give it a thorough cleaning. Blunder. He lost his wife due to a medical blunder.
Tatter. By the 1970s, the country's economy was in tatters. Repatriate. The government forcibly repatriated all the refugees. Fortify. Eat seasonal fruit to fortify your immune system. Plummet. Compared with the previous year, sales of coffee plummeted by 45%. Commensurate. She is paid a salary commensurate with her ability. Polarize. The bridge project has polarized the local community. Secluded. We found a secluded spot and set up camp. Juncture. Any advice at this juncture would be appreciated. Obtrusive. I prefer a less obtrusive color. Enunciate. Enunciate your words so that everyone can understand you. Scruple. He had no scruples about accepting bribes. Balk. The president balked at signing the paper.
Illicit. The use of illicit drugs is a serious social problem. Dilapidated. They turned the dilapidated mansion into a hotel. Abdicate. The queen abdicated the throne. Downplay. The minister is downplaying the issue of education. Squabble. They squabbled over which of them should go first. Dearth. The bill will create a dearth of employment opportunities. Pseudonym. The famous crime novelist also wrote romances under a pseudonym. Commotion. His statement caused a big commotion. Implore. We implored him not to jump to conclusions. Recluse. The scientist moved to a small island and lived as a recluse. Revitalize. The storekeepers are trying hard to revitalize the mall. Infest. The dirty room was infested with bugs.
Bolster. The company is making efforts to bolster its competitiveness. Abate. The storm showed no signs of abating. Pest. The pest can destroy a crop in just a few hours. Backlog. We have to clear the backlog of pending applications by next month. Paramount. Our president always says customer service is of paramount importance. Bask. He defeated the top seed and basked in media attention. Irreparably. The building was irreparably damaged by the earthquake. Incoherent. The government's approach is totally incoherent. Disdain. He disdains rock music. Vulnerable. The bill is for vulnerable people in society. Memento. Keep this book as a memento of our friendship. Prelude. This success is merely a prelude to further development.
Indoctrinate. They were indoctrinated with extreme fundamentalism. Torment. The same nightmare tormented her again and again. Foliage. The path is roofed by the thick foliage of the trees. Vent. He sometimes vents his anger on his family. Surreptitiously. She entered the country surreptitiously without obtaining a visa. Alliance. The three parties made an alliance to form a coalition government. Rehash. The plan was just a rehash of the old one. Consternation. The report caused consternation among biologists. Knack. She has a knack for growing plants. Farce. The murder trial was a complete farce. Adroit. The writer is an adroit storyteller. Expedite. The government tries to expedite the environmental assessment process.
Quench. The old man quenched his thirst with a glass of beer. Cinch. This recipe is a cinch to make. Candor. She opened up her heart with candor. Epitomize. This building epitomizes the Japanese traditional house. Fruition. Some 20 years later, their plan finally came to fruition. Venerable. There were many venerable temples in Japan. Teeter. The city is teetering on the brink of financial collapse. Belligerent. He apologized for his belligerent behavior. Toll. The earthquake took a toll on the country. Revel. All the members reveled in the huge success of their first album. Feud. The country has had a long-standing feud with its neighboring country. Scrawl. He scrawled his name on the wall with black paint. Data file. Disorder. Chemotherapy. Anatomy. Anesthesia. Immunization. Vaccinate. Transfusion. Germ. Generic. Pathogen. Tumor. Carcinogenic. Stroke. Cervical cancer. Diabetes. Emphysema. Autism. Dengue fever. Measles. Rubella. Mumps. Whooping cough. Migraine. Rupture. Inflammation. Spasm. Complication. Lasting effect. Remission. Relapse. Carrier. Birth defect. DNA sequence. Genetic map. Gastrointestinal. Cardiovascular. Cardiopulmonary. Mechanical respirator. Metabolism. Pregnancy. Infertility. In vitro fertilization. Insomnia. Hypnotic state. Regression. Blind sight. Prosthesis.